Hello, everyone. Michael Pickens here with our weekday Libertarian Leadership Academy live stream. We have a special guest coming all the way out of Connecticut. Is that right, Mark?
Correct. Where it's
Coming
warm.
all the way. Yeah. He's running for Congress and State House. He is double dipping, at least trying to make some sense of politics, correct? In your area, trying to get yourself in there to make a positive difference.
What's interesting is I could be running for Congress in 2 adjacent states. Now, you can only serve if elected to both, which would be unheard of. It's legal. You just have to be domiciled in one of those states at the day of election. So if things are going really good in Massachusetts, I could easily move over the border. It's 20 miles away. I'm single. I could take a home anywhere. And if it's going better in Connecticut, I stay put.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's just talk about Congress and State House. Why are you running for both of those seats?
They're related in many ways. The biggest of them being in Connecticut, they are occupied by Democrats. And I have come to the opinion that just taking the Democrat Party nomination of the last 2 or 3 years means you are endorsing evil. And I need people to recognize just how evil the people who are leading us, not rank and file Democrat voters. I still am one. But
Okay.
the ones who will not stand down and decry mayhem in the streets brought on after the Floyd death, who will like illegal benefits to illegal immigrants to take away from ours, who endorse this horrible student loan give back, which was totally for political purposes, who can't tell you how many sexes there are. There might be 13. And not a single, and they don't believe that. So there's an integrity problem too, because they all know there are 2 sexes. They all know there's no such workable thing as a Green New Deal. But for political purposes, these Democrats go along, oh, that's a good idea by AOC. No, your Democrat leader should be standing up at least as strongly as the Republicans who've been opposing them. I am running as neither. It's as a libertarian or as an independent. Depends on the laws, and we'll have to wait till technically May before I decide which party.
Okay, yeah. So you are a registered Democrat, which is very interesting because I remember vaguely back in like 2007, there was a Democrat Liberty Caucus. There was Dennis Kucinich, tag teaming with Ron Paul, right? I remember that, anti-war, there was more liberty-minded Democrats back then. I don't see any now.
You're absolutely right. In 2007 and 8, I think you had Artur's is his first name from Alabama, an elected Democrat who's liberty-minded. Jeff Flake was still active in the Congress, and he called himself libertarian, small L. But you're right. Since 2014, there is no leader in the Democrat Party, not in Connecticut anyway. I don't see it on the congressional horizon, who stands up to the excesses that Bernie Sanders espouses.
Yeah, I remember here in Washington State, I don't know, 6 years ago, there was 2 Democrats that actually caucused with the Republicans, and they were more liberty-leaning Democrats, civil liberties, but also fiscally responsible at the same time. But you don't really see that anymore.
I'm guessing they're from Eastern Washington.
I don't. The northwest area,
Really?
the purple area. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But now, Washington State is Democrat supermajority. They just had the largest tax increase in history, largest spending increase in history. People are fleeing the state. It's not good.
Part of your state in the east, along with Idaho, and now maybe parts of Alberta, are all looking to maybe secede. And I believe in secession. I think that's a libertarian thing, that secession is a proper. I would not stop.
I do too. I used to live in Spokane on the eastern side of the state. I've been to Liberty State meetings. That's what they're trying to
Mm,
call that state, Liberty State. So,
that's awesome.
yeah, but let's go back to your campaign and what you're doing, right? So what is the personal reason that you have for running for office?
I want to improve liberty and improve justice. And
Did you get hurt by the government?
we all get hurt somewhat.
Yes.
But just seeing the unfairness of people around who are getting hurt continually. Urban education is horrible. And it could be fixed almost instantly when government stops paying attention to what teacher unions want and what parents want instead.
Yep.
Crime could be reduced greatly. In Connecticut, it's not bad, but it should be nearly zero. And government that's its number one purpose. And we don't fight cybercrime well, and we don't fight violent crime well. Cybercrime affects every one of us, even if you have yet to get picked. You are fearful of it. You have to put in two-factor identifications. You have to worry about your credit cards being stolen. So it's 350 million people are affected by cyber criminals, at least indirectly. We can do a lot about it.
Gotcha.
For the personal, I'm not a lifelong politician. I was happily a animated voter, usually voting Republican or Libertarian up until 2016. And I decided to get involved I actually ran at that point for the LP's vice president slot.
Okay.
Since then, I've run for 5 different offices, and this will be the 6th coming up in 2026. Never gotten more than 5%. Always in a multi-way race where the media paid zero attention. This duality of running for Congress, this will be in the 1st district in Connecticut, and at the same time in seats, multiple seats, for State House, it is meant to get attention just for the sake of doing both. And you can do both. A victory at the federal level does not prevent you from serving at the state level.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so you're using these races to gain publicity for your ideas, for what you stand for. Is that it? And to spread the message.
Yes. And it's not just what I stand for. It's amazing that I think it resonates with 70% of people, but we don't get candidates from the 2 parties that resonate that way. Fiscally tight, socially permissive, that is libertarian. And you don't get candidates from Democrat or Republican doing that.
No, you definitely don't. And the choices aren't good. So, but I find it very interesting that you're a registered Democrat. You're thinking of running as a libertarian or a Democrat or a Republican, but you haven't really decided yet.
I'm certain I would not run as a Republican, and that doesn't owe to philosophy. Because first of all, those 2 parties don't even have a philosophy anymore. Okay?
No.
In 1820, there was a philosophy of the Democrats. Actually, I think they were called Democrat Republicans still then. But by 1847 anyway. But for the last 90 years, Michael, the Republican Party has had a bad schism. Reagan kind of put it back together, and for 15 years after Reagan, that sort of stayed. But they're back to a very libertarian element among Republican voters. Not that many reps that are libertarian, but among voters, sure. And then there's the Chamber of Commerce type Republicans. And unfortunately, there's the warmonger Republicans. So they're split. Democrats are split too. Now, Democrats manage to hold together when it comes time to vote. Okay, they paste over their differences, and everyone's going to vote for Kamala who possibly can. Whereas Republicans always suffer defections, I think because they're more thoughtful. And we are more principled as conservatives and libertarians, and we are willing to not band together to stand up for principle.
Yeah, it seems that Democrats will overlook disagreements within their own organization to support whoever the person is at the end of the day that has the nomination.
Yes.
Is there a closed primary where you're at?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to be, if you run as a Democrat, you'll be going against the incumbent, correct?
But it takes a lot to even be in the primary. So this probably means I avoid the Democrat Party come summer and run as an independent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Remember, I'm a Democrat voter. That's just a party that you decide to check off. It does get me into the debates. That's what allows me to be possibly stage left while our incumbent rep, it's John Larson, is stage right. Now, will he even sit down with challengers? He already has one, a fairly prominent former mayor of Hartford. So that guy's got standing, and still he hasn't been able to get a one-on-one yet. So I'm going to add to the fray. I just did the filing today. Nice timing.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Correct. So Form 1, Form 2 with the SEC are done, and you will see me on at least on the contenders list. But I don't expect to use the primary. It's expensive. I'm almost certain to lose within died and true Democrats. Closed primaries, I don't have a chance. But if I've made good points, and the people that I most want to make points with are urban blacks.
Okay.
They're worked over. They have more crime that could in their neighborhoods that could be prevented. They have worse schools. Two things that good government can help dramatically. They're phobic about Trump. So they still vote Democrat all the time. It'd be nice to give especially those voters the choice that, look, you don't have to vote R. You can vote independent or libertarian. There's another choice there. It's a shame that in Connecticut, the word libertarian sounds like liberal to too many people. So I don't love the label, even though I love the principles. I'm as fervent of a liberty-minded person as you will get. But I don't know that it should be the right label for folks like us. I think independent is a better label. And in Connecticut, that's 42% of the voters.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big chunk of voters right there. Yeah, and you're right. A lot of, average voters, they don't understand what the word libertarian means. A lot of these people are not deep thinkers. So, they're not looking into definitions of words. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is. So I'm excited to see.
We have the values of traditional Democrats better than anyone else. And we have the values of Republicans who really believe in minimal government. If they really believe in that, they should be voting libertarian.
Yeah, they should be. And we can say it all day long, what they should be doing. So how do you plan on getting your campaign out into the public?
I need to cultivate media. That is going to be hard in this state because I've met a decent number of media in past races who say, we're not covering you because you're not going to win. That was literally two different reporters who one said it to my face, one said that over the phone. I ran for governor 7 years ago.
Well, of course you can't win if they don't cover you. Isn't that an oxymoron?
Yep, it's a horrible argument. I don't know how to defeat it unless there's support from voters who can be making a stink early on that, look, this guy's doing something. So I don't know what doing something involves yet. I do know this. I can meet voters, and I have to meet them to be able to have an independent campaign with petitioning. So that takes 1,500 signatures, really more like 2,000 signatures to get to 1,500. In the process, I really talked, and I will do every one of them myself. Okay, I do not want surrogates. I want to be engaged with them in the winter and spring. Here's a petition. Let me tell you what I'm about. And if they'll give me their email address as well, they can stay in touch with me later on.
Yeah. That's great.
Beyond that, I'm open to suggestions. I will say this. I founded a PAC called EduPAC. EDU is my background. I'm an educator. I run a small tutoring firm. And it's a nationwide firm, but it's pretty small, humbly based here in Connecticut. But education is one of my top 3 issues. So we end up with the possibility of, well, do you like people like me? You don't even have to like me, okay? Because you might like your nice representative who's treated you well and might end up voting for her. But if you like the principles that this liberty minded independent stands for, contribute to the PAC. EduPAC, therefore, ultimately funds me. I'm not the only one they'd be funding. There are 2 other people in the state that are making efforts like me, also in urban areas. Okay, one is a young African American in Middletown, great speaker, a district that leans strongly Democrat, but he's a former Republican that wants to come into the independent mode. And I think we're going to get one in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is a basket case of a town. It's relatively poor. It's corrupt. I'm not just saying it. You can look up Bridgeport, Connecticut and voting, and you'll see all these shenanigans. So we're a little cadre right now of 3 candidates trying to do the same thing, all conservative to libertarian, all fervently anti what the Democrat leaders are doing. And it is unfortunate. Connecticut is an 0-5 state. It is all blue at the congressional level. It is veto-proof blue at the state house level right now. It's miserable.
Well, you're going to need your education background for sure. Thomas Jefferson said it best. Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty.
I don't know how you get to people. And thank you for doing what you're doing. And it's great that you have this many followers in this short of a time. I am open to being on others' podcasts. I'm open to literally, for now, responding to any of your listeners' questions. How do you do this? What are you about? At some point, it might get on the overwhelming side, but I will not use AI. Okay? You will hear from me or maybe a human surrogate who knows me. I can't get to everybody, but will still have a personalized reply.
Sure. So what I would recommend, I'm helping some other candidates, and we've got a gubernatorial candidate that's spending $5 a day boosting his videos on Facebook. And, you can target regions. You could target a state, so only people in that state will get it. But $5 a day, he's gone from no Facebook followers to 700 in a matter of months just by putting $5 a day. Because this is the thing. You put a single issue video out, right? 30 seconds, 60 seconds, couple minutes, right? You're talking about one issue, and then you sponsor that for $5 a day for a few days and see how it does and see the responses. And you'll get followers from it, and you'll get people starting to comment, people who had no idea who you were, right? Because it's all about visibility. People have to see you to get to know you. Then once they start getting to know you, they like you, and then they trust you, and then they'll donate, and then they'll volunteer, right? So it's that visibility part is key.
Michael, has this candidate had prior exposure, or is this 0 to 700 for a newbie?
This is a brand new candidate. His name is Glenn Kelly. He's running for governor here in Washington. He is a construction manager, and he has never run for office before and never even got involved in politics before.
Nice. Good for him and you.
Yeah.
Right, I think I'm going to take, I just wrote down to take you up on this.
Nice. I'm looking forward to hearing back from you on how it goes, because there will be positive. Now, you have to understand there will be negative too, right? Some people aren't going to like what you have to say, and that's okay. That's part of the process, right? And if you need to block them, that's fine. Or you could just respond with kindness. Kill them with kindness. That's what I like to say. Because it's not necessarily for that person. It's for the other people reading the comments, right?
So I have a question about can I afford to be bluntly specific? Or do
Mhm.
I need generalities? I
I
hope
think
it's the former.
I think you should be yourself.
Good. That's specific.
Yeah, be yourself. That's what I tell everyone. Like, be yourself. Whatever feels good, do that. Don't sell yourself short. If don't like censor yourself. Um,
Okay.
just be yourself. Put yourself out there. But the visibility part is key because you will resonate with the right people.
I also have two things that are economics and fun that should resonate. I am one of the few people who's still trying to bring back a hockey team here. Seattle's been much more enlivened by having the Kraken. We
Yeah,
used to have an NHL team in central Connecticut called the Hartford Whalers. They've been gone for now 27 years. And NHL hockey absolutely enlivens. And Seattle has three other teams or two others. We have none. And so if you're in central Connecticut, you might pay $800 to take a family to a Knicks game in New York or a hockey game with the Bruins or Islanders. But that's 2 hours away, a lot of money, and we could do it for half that with a team here. We want to do Green Bay Packers style ownership. That's, for those who don't know, Green Bay is the one NFL team. I think it's the only Major League anything team that is owned by lots of little shareholders, families throughout the Midwest who bought in, and they're fans, and they have tiny shares as opposed to a big corporation or a
yeah,
state government that's partly part of it. So we're trying to do that, which is kind of fun.
yeah, yeah.
Go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Crowdfunding the hockey team in a way.
Which I'm not good at doing. I'm happy to talk about it, and I know the structure, but somebody, maybe one of your listeners now, can hit me up, stewartforliberty.com. If you've done crowdfunding for events like this, I would love to be in your hands.
There's a website called WeFunder, and it is crowdfunding for businesses, but you can sell shares of your company or your business at pre-IPO levels, and they help out with all of the filings, and they take 7% cut of all the money raised. But that's basically what it does. And there's other websites too that are very similar, but people aren't donating to it, they are buying into it, right? That's what you're
Doesn't
talking
that
about.
run afoul of investor solicitations? Isn't that what the securities laws are trying to prevent?
So they allow really small investments, like micro investments, $50, $100. And apparently, according to the rules, you only have to be an accredited investor if you're putting in a higher amount, let's say $5,000 or
Oh,
more.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's probably a new development then.
Yeah, because I've been looking into it because I've got a business that I'm looking to get some investment funds for, and I've been researching and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So that's what I found. Um, you might want to take a look at that.
Thank you. So the other thing that I think could energize people in Connecticut is that none of the governor or congressional candidates talk about getting more businesses to the state.
Mhm.
I have specific plans. Connecticut Commerce is the website for that. And now that Mamdani is scaring people in Metro New York,
Yeah.
there might be a nice influx available to come to Connecticut, where if you sell your house in Queens, you get 3 times the home in the Hartford area and a pool, a swimming pool. So it's a
Yeah.
very good proposition. Now, I know the most Manhattanites, anyway, are so transfixed they will have nothing else. But there's 4 other boroughs that are affected by Mamdani, and
Mhm.
they could all be here 2 hours away. You could still go there for your heroes and your plays.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
I would love to have people who are dissatisfied with the two parties to recognize that at the local level, state rep, mayor, there's definitely a play for the independent. It is almost impossible at the U.S. Senate and governor, because the U.S. Senate and governor, there's too much to risk for a Republican to defect, too much to risk for a Democrat to defect to you, the independent. But in the smaller races, go after them. And that's why I'm hoping it is candidates like your man in Washington, who hasn't done any politics before, and just get their name on the ballot and their ideas out there. And do it with your spouse, and maybe run in 2 districts. Or if there's a town council seat, usually they run 6 seats at a time to get filled. So Andrea and Jonathan, husband and wife, can both have yard signs with the same last name and maybe occupy 2 seats, twice the clout. By the way, in Connecticut anyway, I'm able to run in multiple districts. For state house, it is allowed, so that I am taking multiple ballot slots, one in Hartford, one in East Hartford, one in West Hartford, 3 different towns, not enclaves, 3 different towns, 3 different districts. Now, should I get elected to more than one, pie in the sky, but if that should happen, what happens there is wonderful. I get to choose, and then a special election is called 2 months later to fill the empty seat. Well, the best people at that point to fill that seat are then people like us, because I've paved the way. A little nobody who got 51% of the vote can't serve in that seat, but somebody else then has the path drawn because we've finally done it and broken through.
Yep. Well, awesome. Mark, I'm going to be paying attention to what you're doing out there, and I hope for you to come back on later in the future as you have a little more success. And
I can keep you posted. And for any of your listeners, it's stewartforliberty.com, which is STEWARTFOR liberty.com, which you are posting. I can see that now.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much. For those who are interested in what Mark is doing, please go to his website. Give him $5, give him $10, give him $100, whatever you can.
I don't take donations. Give the education pack. I'll steer you, though. I can steer you the right way. Again,
okay.
I don't want to be a candidate who is besmirched at all by donations. I'm not playing to it, but I'll send you to a couple good packs that indirectly will help.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mark. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you all, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.